So Carol, why home birth? Can you tell us what your passion is about that?
Well, why not? We're physiologically more than capable of having our babies in a sanctified, sacred home setting. If we're healthy individuals, if we don't have any real high-risk physiological problems like, liver disease or heart disease or diabetes, frank diabetes, and several other things, for the most part, most women can have their babies at home in the safety and sanctity of their own place. Women are immune to their own environments. Just the bacteria alone in an institutional birth setting is very caustic or high, and I think that it's important to remember that you're exposing your child to possibilities of strep and staph infections in your own home environment. Even if your family is sick, your baby's immune to that environment. That's one thing to take it. I feel like the most important thing is that you get disempowered in an institutional setting, and with a home birth, you're your own captain of your ship, of your body, and you're able to release to the energy of birth in a way that you can't in a setting that everybody is so unfamiliar. There's nurse changes, there's doctors that maybe you didn't want to have, or your midwife is not the midwife that you wanted to have because you've been seeing a whole group instead of just your own personal physician or midwife. That's really a big piece. Relationships really important. Home birth midwives emphasize the importance of relationship because the whole thing around birth is safety. And if you can't cultivate a place of safety, of real comfort for yourself, you're less apt to give to the energy of birth. Birth is a really powerful spiritual thing. It's not just a physiological thing. Our cultures, very few cultures in the world understand. I teach abroad, I teach around the world, and I have a really pretty good perspective of what's going on with regards to birth in many, many cultures. And the majority of the countries do not understand birth. But once we get to that place of really understanding what birth is, it's going to really cut loose a lot of women in a way that they've never experienced before. And what I mean by that is that on a spiritual level and on a physiological level, women tough through their birth experiences, and when they get to the end, they feel like they can do anything. What I call it self-empowerment, because they do it themselves. They're able to own their birth experience, able to give to their birth experience, and if they have the right guidance, which you usually get from a home birth midwife, you're able to really feel like you've accomplished something and own your birth experience. That may not sound like that big of a deal, but it is a real big deal to many, many women that feel disappointed with their birth experiences. And we're talking about normal, natural birth here. We're not talking about any
low risk.
And low risk. And the sort of things we do for pain at home would be, comfort measures, lots of love. I tell people it's really important to cultivate love around your birth, to bring loving people that are not fear-based. Anybody that's afraid, even if it's your mom or your best friend, if they're really afraid of home birth, it's really important that they're not there because they can take away from your experience. Especially if they've had birth experiences that are traumatic themselves, they take that birth experience with them. So it's really important that you're cultivating an environment of safety, and even on a spiritual level. And I feel like the invisible things are more real in birth than the physical things. So if you can find a midwife that's intuitive about those things and try to help you through, because we learn your deep history. We learn a lot about who you are as we build that relationship, and we have a lot of intuition that we incorporate into that relationship, so we're able to really cultivate a safe nest for you.